Hello, friends, and welcome to this edition of Ignite Your Wow. I'm Kellen Ann, and I'm your host. Thank you for being here today. And if you are, well, not if you are, if you're watching live, please let me know where you're coming from and make a comment in the comment section. And if you have a question for our guest, please feel free to ask it there as well. We have two sponsors today. Oh, there's our Missy. Hey, Missy. Missy knows Robbie well, too. I think we both met at the same time. All of us met at the same time. But anyway, two sponsors today. Blue Sky Video Productions. Blue Sky Video Productions is Bruce Himmelblau is a live stream producer, which is what he does for me and this show. If you want to look like a professional and not have to know anything, he's the guy for you because he makes me look super organized and professional. He's also a YouTube strategist and will help you build your YouTube numbers and subscribers. And the other sponsor is Cards That Wow. That's me. And if you want to take your brand up to the next level and make your client really remember you past initial getting a card, when they get a card from you that I made, they actually say wow. And sometimes they even call you and say wow. So Cards That Wow. Let's bring Bruce on to see what his tip of the day is.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
So how's like your new time?
I love it. I hope that people that watch it love it too.
Yep. So now we're on at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not catching us live, you're catching us on the replay.
Mm-hmm. And be sure to let me know that we've caught you on the replay. Replay in there. So what's your tip?
Tip would be pretty much tell a story as opposed to delivering facts, because people remember a story more than just numbers and statistics. So you can kind of meld your concept into a story. It'd be perfect. And actually tomorrow, this is a total plug. Actually Thursday morning, I've got a guest. His name is Jay Stein, and he is a storyteller. He's won some Toastmaster competitions for speeches. And so he's my show guest on Thursday, 11 p.m. Central, which is 12 p.m., 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific. No, Eastern.
Feel free to roll a banner across the bottom if you want to plug it.
So why are we here today?
Why are we here?
Yeah.
We're here to meet I always say amazing and wow because people on my show have made me wow somehow. And this guy, I mean, if there was a word beyond wow, that would be it. It's Robbie Cornelius. He's my guest. And he is he's brilliant. He's a genius. And he's going to share some of his ideas and philosophies with us today. So let's bring on Robbie. You like my music?
Oh, hello.
Did you like my music?
I love your music. I love it. The intro was amazing. It's phenomenal.
I've almost been doing this a year. So
that's really cool. I'm loving the vibe, and I love the tip that Bruce just gave to the audience. So
he gives a tip every show.
Oh, he's doing a great job with that.
Yeah. It's totally cool. So I'm so excited you're here. And I know I say that to a lot of people because why would I have somebody here that I wasn't excited to have? But you, I'm like above the excited because you, to me, the first time I met you on Clubhouse, we were in that room, and I think Missy was with us and Joe Ingram. There, there's like this family group that we're in right now, and I just love that. So how did you get involved with
Clubhouse?
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, Benjamin Williams, he asked me on the phone one day, have you heard about Clubhouse? I said, no. He sent me an invite, and the rest is history. And I got on the platform. I interacted with it a lot. Now, I will say I haven't been on there in like a month now, probably a month or more. I have to get back to business, but I think it's a phenomenal platform.
Mm-hmm. It is. And through that, I connected with you on Instagram, and I love the messages that you tell everybody, and I love your videos. And to me, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing with our new way to do business. And you're like the poster child of how to do business.
Thank you.
can you talk a little bit about your philosophy and what makes you tick? What makes you wow?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So when I wake up every day, the first thing I think about is the fact that I'm alive, and then also the possibility that I could be dead. And so once I realize I'm awake, it's like everything, everything is icing on top of the cake. So I'm just here to perform. I'm here to deliver. I'm here to go to the next level. I started out with very humble beginnings, basically taking nothing and turning it into something. And so when I see entrepreneurs who have a dream, or other entrepreneurs that have taken something and made it even better, that inspires me to show them how they can use the power of the internet to do what I call EGM, which is establish, grow, and monetize. Because there are so many opportunities out here for so many people all across the world that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people don't know that you can start a business and be global in a matter of days. People don't know that. And so that's what I do. I help people establish growth, monetize their presence on the internet. And I'm very passionate about that. So my philosophy is I'm the master of myself. And so a lot of philosophers will disagree with me on this particular topic, because you bring the notion of free will into the picture. A lot of people say we have free will. A lot of people say we don't. I'm not here to argue that. I'm here to say that at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, I'm just responsible for me. I try to control myself and do what I say, free the world. So I control myself and free the world. I spend so much time becoming the master of myself that I have no time or interest in trying to control the lives of other people. And so that's my philosophy. Not only think things into existence with principles like the law of attraction, but one of my philosophies is become the life you want to experience. Because a lot of people try to attract things into their reality that they're not a match to. And so the whole purpose, in my opinion, of personal transformation is to personally transform yourself, literally match the reality you want to live. And this is something I stumbled upon maybe 11 years ago. Up until this point, up until that point, I was basically walking around in the world unconscious, blaming the world for my troubles, blaming the world for my shortcomings. And one day I just said, you know what? I blamed everybody else, never looked at myself. And so from that day forward, I said, you know what? I'm going to invest 100% of my time in trying to become a better version of myself. And I'm going to take 100% responsibility for the quality of my life experience. Once I did that, once I accepted that as my role in my life, that's when things got better. And I've just been telling people about it from that point on. So thank you. Great question. Oh, I can't hear you, Kellen. I think you're muted right there.
Rookie move. Sorry.
There you go.
No, but that's one of the things that I really, really love about you is you are in control of what happens in your life because you decide what will happen. And I think a lot of people during COVID, if they're wise, they've used this time to really determine what is important to them, what are your goals, your values in line with your career even, and making sure that, because if they're not, you won't be happy. You will never, find that true happiness. And that's what I've been trying to do on my journey. And when I see your videos on Instagram and everywhere, they inspire me. So I think everybody should be sure to follow you on Instagram. If anything, for your messages.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think you're doing a great job at it too. I see you're doing your thing. You're always putting yourself out there, going to the next level. So I see you too, and I appreciate your vision, your passion for what you do.
It's funny because when I started this, I had a vision, but my actions weren't matching. And I realized that I'm not a commercial salesperson anymore. I'm not a, real commercial broker. I'm not a ad salesperson. I'm Kellen Ann, the artist. And now, since I've kind of shifted my mind, I'm going places much faster. And I think that's kind of the epiphany that you had 11 years ago, and that's what I feel like I'm starting to have right now, and it feels really good. And that's why I wanted to have you on and just share you with the world, because you are, you're walking the walk and you're talking the talk, and your success is proof of that.
Thank you for that. I thank you for acknowledging it. It's something that I pride myself on, and it's something that I don't get recognized for enough, I believe, outside of my home. My family, of course, definitely appreciates that. But a lot of people meet me where I am today and don't understand the journey. They don't understand that it was a process.
Right.
And I think when people look at anybody, they see the finished product in front of them. Like, for instance, this coffee mug here. It's easy for me to just admire this coffee mug, which is by Ray Dunn, by the way. It's easy for me to admire that coffee mug, but there was a process that took place for that coffee mug to be brought into fruition. And that's what any of us, so it's easy for so many people to kind of like judge you for where you are right now and judge you for who you are right now, whether you're successful or unsuccessful. But there was a process that got you to where you are right now. And so when I understood years ago that when I was in a place of misery, when I was in a place of doom and gloom and blaming everybody for my shortcomings, I look back and I'm like, hold up, what was the process that got me to this place? And that was the key realization. I realized that the answer to my question was in fact in the question. And the answer was a process. So if a process got me to a place of blaming the world for my shortcomings, a process could also get me to a place to where I felt like I was more in control of the quality of my life experience. And so that's it. It's just an everyday process. Take what you want, put it in front of you, and then work on the process every single day. That's all I do every single day. When I started out, it was very hard. I went on this mental diet. I called it 365 days of uninterrupted happiness. And that meant that no matter what happened, I could not get upset or stay upset for longer than 5 minutes. It didn't mean that I didn't have moments, but it meant that after 5 minutes, most things that happen to you, we should be able to overcome. Somebody cuts me off in traffic. Okay, if I'm holding on to it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a day, a week, then that's my fault. But I give myself 5 minutes to express my frustration about anything, and then I forgive it, and I just move on, because it's going to hold you back if you don't.
Well, it's not serving you in any way.
Not at all.
So do you want to talk a little bit about your journey?
Yeah,
because that's like pivotal as far as your story.
Yeah, so like as you see here, I'm I have tattoos everywhere. All of my tattoos come from some part of my past, whether it was light or dark. And so I documented that journey of personal transformation throughout my life. So, growing up, I grew up in a very violent household. At the age of 7, I had a near-death experience where I was struck in the face by a vehicle while riding in the backseat of my mother's car. And that event kind of shaped my life for about 18 years. So when I had that car accident, when I was involved in that car accident, I kind of took on the role of a victim from that point on. I'm like, oh, I'm a victim. Look at poor little Robbie with the gash in his head. That was my story. Hey guys, I'm Robbie. I'm a little, you should feel sorry for me because I had this car accident. Or I'm Robbie. I can pretty much get away with anything because, I'm a victim, feel sorry for me. And I got used to telling that story over and over again. And not to mention, I grew up in a household that was very abusive, and there was a lot of violence. There was a lot of money mismanagement. There was a lot of uncertainty, not knowing if we were going to even have a home from month to month or from night to night, because my father would come home drunk sometimes. And in the middle of the night, we would have to run out of the house, sleep in the car, go to an uncle or aunt's house, sleep in an abandoned house, you name it. We had to do this over and over again. And so those events just trained me to see myself as a victim of circumstances. And although they were very real, even when those things were not a threat in my life anymore, because my body got used to the anxiety that reality produced, I kind of just grew up with this fight or flight mentality, ready to fight or ready to run away from a threat. And I lived like that my dad died on his birthday when I was 16 years old. And even after he died, I had so much anger and frustration against him. And I held on to that until I was 27 years old. So at 27, I was rapping. I used to rap. I used to make rap music, and I used to write about my harsh realities. Well, I was at this pivotal moment in my career where I had a deep desire to feel happiness. And I never felt happiness up until that point. I've been happy about things, a new toy or whatever, but I never had sustainable happiness without partying, drinking, smoking, or whatever. And so at the age of 27, I looked around at my life and I was ready to just give up. And when I say give up, I was ready to check out. I was ready to cancel myself, for lack of better words. And then I said, before I do that, I'm going to devote some time and energy into working on myself, because I realized I hadn't worked on myself. There was a lot of things from the past that I was holding on to. My dad had been dead for over a decade at that point, and I was still mad at him. I was still rapping about him in every song. I was still talking about him every time anyone would give me their ear to talk about to hear my sorrows. I would regurgitate that story over and over. And so I just said that when I got back from my last show was in Ogden, Utah. I said, when I go back home, I'm just going to check out from the world for a while, because I kind of gained a bad reputation as a gangster rapper, or somebody that would, beat you up in the streets. I kind of gained, my reputation was worse than I was as a person. And I got caught up playing the role of this gangster rapper, right? So I was like, when I get home, I'm going to I'm going to disconnect my social media. I'm going to turn my cell phone off, and I'm just going to be to myself. I'm not going to talk to any of my friends or family, because I knew that I couldn't become a new person if I was still hanging out with the same people. So I flew back into town, didn't tell anybody about it. And I thought about my wife, she was just interested in me at the time. We wasn't even dating, but I thought about her out of all people, and I call her up and I'm like, hey, I'm back in town. I would love to see you. So basically her and I started hanging out, and I was in a really bad situation at the time. Like, I didn't have any money for the most part. I didn't even have a vehicle. And we started dating, and I asked her, would she just kind of provide a place for me to just get myself together? Like, will you take care of the immediate stuff? Like, will you basically just let me live here for free while I figure myself out? And so long story short, she was like, yeah. And she gave me the space to find myself. So I got into meditation, and you can stop me at any time if I'm talking too much. But I got into meditation, and I just started talking about I just started focusing on the word forgiveness. And as I sat still inside of myself, and emotions would come up, primarily related to my father, related to my upbringing, I would just repeat over and over again, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. And I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it was called meditation at the time. But I just got to this place after saying these, what I later came to understand as affirmations. I got to this place where I didn't have any thoughts at all. And once I didn't have any thoughts, it was like I was able to pull back inside of myself and observe myself from a different level of consciousness. And all of a sudden one day, I just burst into tears of joy as the weight of my father and the weight of my past, my upbringing, just evaporated. And I was crying so much. I pick up the phone, I call my mother. I'm like, you have to forgive Dad. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, look, I just forgave Dad for everything he's ever done to us. I forgave not only Dad, I forgave everyone and everything, including myself. And so this put me at what I call my 0 point. This is what I call my 0 point. Like, I got to a place of zero. I didn't feel, not zero from a negative standpoint, but zero from the standpoint of nothing from my past bothered me anymore.
Like a new canvas.
Just completely clean. And I'm so happy you said that, because with that new canvas, I asked myself a question. What do I want to paint on this new canvas? First of all, who do I want to be? I want to be a person that compliments more than I complain. I want to be a person that looks for opportunities more than I look for lack and limitation. I want to be a person that sees abundance in the world. I want to be a person that always inspires other people to be their best version of themselves. And that's what I started to work on every single day from that point on. And I've been living that way now that was 2000. It's 2021 now. So it's been about 10 or 11 years. I've been living that way every single day.
That's amazing. So I do this every show. I forget what I was going to ask. I hate when I do that. Let me think.
That's what happens when a person talks too long.
Usually I write little notes, but I can't find my pencil. But that's okay. No, what you have to say is so wonderful, and I'm so grateful that you're sharing it, because, like you said, people see you right now; they don't see the before. And some of the people that I associate, become friends with over the pandemic, they saw me kind of not at the bottom, but closer than, and they've all seen me grown. And I love that, because they say, Kellen, I really love what's happening and what you're doing. And it feels good to have that recognition. So I want you to have that recognition from me, that I think it's amazing. And I'm so proud about where you started and where you are right now. So let me just say that to you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
So was it harder to forgive yourself than everybody else?
I did it in a lump sum. So after focusing on my dad for a while, I was like, the next logical thing was what if I forgave everyone and everything? And then I happened to be included in that everyone and everything. Like I couldn't leave myself out. So I did what I call wholesale forgiveness. I just forgave everything, and I was included in that because
that is so
yeah.
great. You know what? Tonight I'm doing that. Do the wholesale forgiveness. I think
it's like, I wash my pants. I might as well wash my lunch. I might as well wash my entire wardrobe. So that's what I did. A whole
new movement.
Yeah, and I do that every single day. Because it's not what I've come to experience is that you can go through this process of forgiving everyone and everything, and you can get to this place of clarity. The more you live, the more you're going to come across more people, places, and things that make you consciously or unconsciously feel a certain type of way about those people, places, or things. And so I've made it a habit in my life. Every single morning when I wake up, I go into forgiveness meditation, gratitude meditation, and then just what I call naturally the third step is whole body meditation. And, gratitude, forgiveness, and then just actually being aware of my body, myself in the world. And then I do that at the end of the night as well. So it's just become a part of my life. I cannot hold on to any form of negativity at all. I'm a sensitive. I have all these tattoos, but you're probably looking at the most sensitive person on the face of the planet because things bother me more than they probably should. Mm-hmm. So I have to go through forgiveness every single day. And if I watch a video of a dog being abused, that latches on to me. If I watch a video of somebody talking bad about somebody, that all that stuff really sticks to me quickly. So I have to go through that forgiveness process every single day just to stay clear.
I like that. Yeah. So another thing that was awesome about you was on Clubhouse, you shared so many tips and tricks and things to do to monetize and, a living. And now you have a course that helps people with that, right?
Yes. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I wanted to go into that because that kind of like after I got clear, this is how I discovered all of these things that I've started sharing with people. When I started dating my wife, who was my girlfriend then, she's my wife now. When we started dating, I didn't have any money. And I basically told her, like, I want to sit here, meditate, and try to figure the internet out. I was brave enough to say that to a woman that was more beautiful than probably any woman I'd seen. And she was like, all right, cool. So I did that, and I discovered the first way I discovered making money on the internet. First of all, I went through all like the little webinar. That's my wife right there. There she is.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. I went through those little secret shopper things and like take these what do you call them? The little, it was like the little take these quizzes and you get paid like 5 cents at the end of it. So I've gone through all of it. And one day while my wife was at work, my girlfriend at the time, I was on her brand new laptop, right? And I'm home trying to figure this internet thing out. We moved into a bigger house that I convinced her to like, I don't have any money, but let's go get this bigger house because this bigger house is going to, when we got the house, right, there was a little spare room on the side, on the right side. I said, I'm going to make $100,000 in that room right there from home. And we used to pull up to that house every single night and kind of like visualize ourselves living in it. So we got approved for the home, and I was like, whoa. So long story short, she's at work trying to make ends meet, and I'm at home on her brand new computer trying to figure this internet thing out. And like after a day of or so of her having the computer, I broke her laptop screen. And I had to call her at work and say, yo, I just broke your screen. I'm sorry. Not to mention, I don't have any money. Will you allow me to use your credit card to order a replacement screen from Amazon? And that's where my journey started. Something that appeared to be negative at the time ended up being something that changed my life entirely, because I ordered that screen off of Amazon. And when it got to the home a few days later, after I went on a garage sale with my wife, I realized that that package didn't come from Amazon's warehouse. It came from somewhere else. It came from another company. And so after I replaced the screen, I realized that you could sell on Amazon. And so I took this little book that I purchased from a yard sale. It was some old book. And it was the closest thing to me. After I set up my free Amazon seller account, I searched for that book on the internet on Amazon, and I saw that book was selling for like $40. And I listed it for sale, and it sold. And I took that money and went yard selling the next weekend, bought more books, listed those on Amazon. And I flipped like those books that I got that second week. I think it took me about 2 weeks to turn that $30 or $40 investment into $2,000.
Oh my gosh.
And so from there, I just kept reinvesting in things. I would go to Goodwill. I would go into Goodwill and I would buy college books that the college students would donate to Goodwill. I would buy those books for $2.99 and turn around and relist those books on Amazon for hundreds of dollars. And I was going into Goodwill so much that the people in Goodwill were like, man, you love reading, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do love reading. But they didn't know I was actually turning around selling those books on Amazon. And so I did that for a while. And then I discovered this thing called drop shipping. And when I got into drop shipping, that was a game changer, because I went from making a couple grand a month to like, one day I did over 20K in sales. And then the next day I did over 20K in sales, and I didn't look back from that point on. So I took that money and I just kept trying other things. And I've just gathered over the last 10 or 11 years, I've gathered so much knowledge and information on making money off the internet. And so I've used the internet to create multiple sources of income. And now I'm just really coming out telling people about it. Like, hey, did you know you could do this? Did you know you could start a clothing line? Did you know you could publish one book a day? And people are just like, what? I didn't know that. So to me, it's stuff I've been doing for all these years. But for a lot of people, they haven't heard of it or had any success with it. So I'm just here to share that.
Well, before you, I'd never heard of that. And when you said, I write a book a day, I was like, shut up. Because I'm taking me months to write my one book.
Well, I always tell people the key word is right. If you look right there, the key word is publish.
Right. Not right. Publish.
Not right. Publish. And that was something that just was a game changer to me. When I realized that you can like approach it as an author, or you can approach it as a publisher. And I decided to publish. I decided to approach it as a publisher. I'm like, I don't want to be the writer all the time. I want to be the guy that's controlling the like I want to be the umbrella. And then I want to have all of these products and services under my umbrella. And that's what the publishing game has done. And self-publishing, anybody can do it. You don't need to wait on somebody to come in and sign you for, $1 million traditional book publishing deal anymore. You just need to know how to put it together yourself and put it out there. And the cool thing about it is 99% of the books that I publish every day are not even in my name. So that's the difference between approaching it from the mindset of a publisher versus the mindset of, an author. An author, a lot of times they want to publish in their own name or one particular ghostwriter name. But me, I might slap Sally Jesse on there. I don't, it's not, I'm just publishing the content. And so that's what I've been teaching people with that course.
Nice. I know some of my friends have, they've published some books on Amazon, and it's really cool to see them, and they're so excited because they're like, hey, look, I'm published. I did this book. And I'm like, way to go, Robbie. Way to go. So is the course just like publishing books, or what else is in the course?
So the course is literally a system that will take you from not even having an idea to, at the end of the course, you have not only an idea, you have something you can, at the end of it, holding your hand and feel really, really good about. And you can share it with the world. And so it shows you how to do that. There's 4 different ways to that I've been doing throughout my life. And there's 4 different ways that I teach people how to go about this. And the course is just literally a step-by-step formula of how you can just start becoming a publishing empire from your home or from the beach or from nature or from anywhere.
There it is, folks. If you listen to one thing on this show today, this is it. That course is so. How much is that course?
I don't know. It's I want to say $195.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a video module course, so you can follow along with me in the course.
Nice.
And it's something that Joe Ingram, he did a testimony for me a week ago. Joe Ingram, I love that guy. Him and Ken Walls.
Yes.
By the way, I want to say this.
Ken just did his book.
Ken? Oh, did he? I got to check out.
I saw Lynn Serrano ordered it and was saying, "Look at this book; it's so cool." And I'm like, oh, "That's Ken."
That's phenomenal. Those 2 guys, Ken, mark my word, Ken Walls and Joe Ingram are some of the best people on this planet, in my opinion, to know for anybody that's trying to get out there and be seen and be heard by introducing their products and services to very powerful people. Mm-hmm. Those 2 guys are phenomenal. So big shouts out to those 2 guys. But I think Joe Ingram listened to me with that with the publishing 1 book a day strategy, and then he became a bestseller like in no time.
And then the next after day. We met in that clubhouse room, he said that he went into his office, put the book together, and then submitted it. And then I think it only took a couple days. And then the way he categorized it, he became a #1 Amazon bestseller.
Absolutely.
So
that's
cool.
It. Yeah. And you can do that. And that's just one way. But I tell people, to pick my brain, which I'm going to have more courses coming out, because there's literally so many different ways that you can use the internet to just create these streams of income that flow for you, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're doing it with. And that's when I saw the world shut down for COVID-19, I was hoping that a lot more people would pivot to using the internet to create a sustainable lifestyle for themselves and their families. And I hope that's what happened. Because when COVID shut down, I didn't sweat at all. In fact, my numbers went up on all categories because I'm 100% digital. And people were forced to sit home. They didn't have anything to do but shop online, Mm-hmm. And so it was a sweet spot. You could have got real rich during that time if you capitalized on it. You could have went from zero to a multimillionaire in 2020 if you knew what to do. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I sat there, but I've been living like that for a long time. I've been living this kind of remote lifestyle for a while. And I want more people to experience that. I think more people deserve to be anywhere they want to be and not have to worry about where the next dollar is going to come from. And so that's what webmastery.io is all about, just showing people different ways that they can do this and live a life of freedom. You know, it's I won't say it's easy to me now, but it you know, once you set it up, it can work for you.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I thank you so much for sharing all this, and be sure, like I said, everybody go to that website. So I usually ask one question at the end, and it is ask it to everybody. So what makes you wow?
What makes me wow? My wife. Immediately when you said wow, I thought about my wife. My wife is somebody that I believe, I'll say my wife and my kids, to be honest. My wife and my kids are very similar in the fact that when I met them, I became extremely fearful because I knew that it was possible for me to love somebody. And at that time, I didn't know if I was capable of sustaining love.
Mm-hmm.
And so after letting my guard down and, you know, learning them over the years, I allowed them to come in my life and change my life and for the better. So they make me wow every single day. To the point I don't want to be without them, which is like why I love working home. My wife will tell you, like, if we're going on a honeymoon, I'm like, let's bring the kids, you know, because I didn't have much growing up. I didn't have a representation of what love was in front of me from a man and a woman growing up. I didn't know what it was to have a good father. I didn't know. My father was there, but he was just not a good father, you know. So when I wake up every day and I look them in the eyes, I see how great of human beings they are. They're like three of the most amazing human beings I know. They make me wow every single day. And then, last but not least, Kellen, when I look at these guns right here, I'm like, wow. No, but all jokes aside, you know, people like you make me wow. You know, life makes me wow. I love life. If you ever hear about me dying, just know I was not ready. I love being alive. I had to beat trillions of cells. I had to beat trillions of sperm cells to get here. I'm not ready to go. I love being here. This is amazing. And so life makes me wow every day. Technology makes me wow. My dog Manny makes me wow. Coffee makes me wow. I love coffee. You know, like my journals make me wow. When I write in my journal and I read through this is a new journal I just started a few days ago, but I journal every day. No, I didn't make it. I purchased it from a store a few days ago. When I write, like, okay, this is how powerful journaling has been for me. Look, this right here, I'm not going to show you all of this here, but that part there says the most amazing podcast. That's how intentional I am with every single day. That makes me wow, you know?
Did you realize what unconditional love was? I mean, when your wife, girlfriend at the time, I know this is another question, but I just had to ask it. Did you realize what she was doing by allowing you to be in the house and not work and, you know, find yourself? And I mean, talk about unconditional love. I mean, had you ever experienced anything like that before?
Never. And to be honest, I thought it was just, you know, at the time when I met her, I was.
You thought it was just guns, didn't you?
I just thought a lot of people wanted to act like they were interested in me and stuff. So, it took me a long time to like see that she was like the real deal. It took me a long time to pick up on that. Mm-hmm. But once I saw it. I couldn't unsee it. I couldn't, like, one night I looked at her and I saw myself. When I looked at her, I was like, oh my God, this is weird. Like, I see myself in her. And so she has shown me that over the years, because I say a lot of crazy things. I do a lot of crazy things, and I've made a lot of mistakes in the past. You know, she met me when I was running wild. But her love for me never wavered at all. Not one bit, not ever. And to me, that was just a prime example of what I needed to model in my life. I needed to make sure that she knew every single day that I have unconditional love for her too. And that my kids need to know that as well. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things and say things, but we need to have unconditional love. So I don't know if she's an angel or if she's like, I don't know what, she might be like a Buddhist monk or something, like secretly.
She's definitely a precious gift.
She is. She's awesome.
Well, thank you for your time today. Like I said, I was so excited all week knowing I get Robbie, because you've been.
We need to do this again.
No, well, when your next course comes out, let me know, and we will definitely.
I will.
So, as a gift for being on my show, I made you some cards that wow. So let's see if you like them.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
So I'll be shipping these to you today. So, but thank you again. And everyone
awesome.
Everyone who watched today, thank you so much. If you're watching this on the replay, please let me know. And if you could be so kind, subscribe to my channels. I would really appreciate that. And if you loved what you heard today, please feel free to share it. So thank you again, Robbie, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you.